Hello, people, and welcome back. As my dog is going crazy next to me. Come here, buddy. Come here. We're talking about Mike's road to Qatar. Come on. Come here. I'll deal with him in a second. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Michael Talks Football channel, and welcome back to Mike's Road to Qatar, episode 10. As my dog is going crazy. Give me a second, guys, while I get him and tell him to relax. Come here, buddy. Thank you, me. Come here. Thank you, me. Come here. There you go, buddy. Come on. There you go. Just relax. Just relax. Perfect start to the stream, guys. Perfect start to the stream. As I got to deal with my dog. So, what are we talking about in Mike's Road to Qatar? Episode 10 today, as I'm dealing with my dog here, guys. So, give me a second. Well, AFC, we have a team that has now qualified to the Qatar World Cup. So, congrats to Iran. And we're going to talk about them very, very soon. Then we have CONMEBOL. Oh, boy. Did we see CONMEBOL yesterday in full effect? I'm not just talking about on the pitch. I'm talking about the monitor that the referee had to go to. I don't even know how many times. I've never seen a referee go to the monitor so many times in that Ecuador-Brazil game. And then we finish it off with CONCACAF, with USA, Mexico, and Canada picking up big wins in the World Cup qualifiers. So that is all we're going to cover today. Hopefully you guys all enjoy it. If you guys want to join the stream, you're more than welcome to talk about, your nation. So I guess like Sebastian wants to talk about Chile, Argentina, or if Ali Reza wants to talk about Iran, you guys are more than welcome to come and discuss about your nations and how you're feeling about them. So, stream is going to be fun. A lot of talking points about this week's qualifiers. Yes, indeed. Alejandro says, "I'm mad. I have so." I wonder which game you're talking about. Hello, Sebastian. Hello, Elias, and bring him in. Well, he's here in full effect, my dog, and he's going crazy. Come here, buddy. You want to say hi to the camera? Come here. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera. See? Who's there, huh? You're going crazy. He's going crazy, guys. All right. Let's start discussing about the game. Don't just have him on my lap here. I'll have him on my lap here as he's going crazy on the lap. Hey, don't eat the microphone. That's not something you can eat. All right, here we go, guys. First off, we're going to start with AFC, Asian Football Confederation. South Korea 1, Lebanon 0, and I predicted it 1-0 South Korea. Why? Because this team can simply not score more than one goal or two goals. Seriously. Yes, I know they didn't have Hwang Hee-chan or Heung-min Son, but it doesn't matter if those two players still play for South Korea. They simply cannot score more than one goal. But you got to give it to Lebanon. They didn't have a lot of possession of the ball in this game. I was watching most of these games, guys. I watched the highlights. So if I don't have full good analysis of each match, I'm sorry. I wish I could watch every game, but I got to work and I got to sleep and I got to do everything. But Lebanon 0, South Korea 1. So big win for South Korea. They are inching closer now to getting a berth to the World Cup. While for Lebanon, they were going to give this match a tough game to South Korea. And losing 1-0, it is harsh. And they were very, very effective from the set pieces, judging from the highlights. They were very good from corners. They were good from free kicks. So Lebanon added that sort of element into the game. And for South Korea, the only goal scorer in the game was Go Sung-choi in the 45th minute plus extra time. But, judging by the highlights, South Korea still didn't create a whole lot of chances. They created some chances, but nothing too glorious. And then for Lebanon, they had a great chance. I think it was in the last minute of the first half where they hit the crossbar. I'm not mistaken if it was Michel. It was one of the Michel brothers. One of them hit the crossbar. It was good play from them, and they hit the crossbar. Then at the end of the matchup, Lebanon almost scored from a free kick as well. The header just going wide. But you know what? South Korea are just going to do this, man. They won't concede a lot of goals, and they won't score a lot of goals. This is just how this team plays, and it's kind of a similar situation for Lebanon, where they don't score a lot of goals, and they look at the ball possession, guys. Look at the ball possession. 75% for South Korea, 25% for Lebanon. But they created two big chances. And like those two big chances I talked about at the end of the first half and at the end of the second half. And obviously South Korea created three big chances. Not that I can remember of. I don't think they hit the post, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know Lebanon hit the crossbar, but I'm not too sure about South Korea. So I'm not too sure where those three big chances came from, judging by the highlights. But 13 shots compared to 7 for South Korea. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter for Belo Bento's side. They're going to qualify for the World Cup very soon. I think now they're inching even more closer as we'll look at the full standings at the rest of this match. But you got to give it to Lebanon, man. They're still in contention for a third place in their group, and that would obviously qualify them to the playoff in the AFC against obviously the third place of Group B. But good effort from Lebanon, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, but they could have maybe gotten a point away. So South Korea can count their lucky stars. They should have won this game maybe 2 or 3-0, judging by the highlights, because they were good, but they're good in every game. What can I say about South Korea? They're good in every single game, but simply cannot finish their chances. But it's 1-0 for South Korea, first match in Group A. We move on to the next match. I'll leave the Iran and Iraq one later. So in this one, which was a big match for the third place in Group B, the UAE picked up a massive win, absolutely massive win over Syria, 2-0. Gao in the 43rd minute. Obviously, I think he's Brazilian-born, and obviously Brazilian naturalized into, now he has a UAE passport, of course. And Alga Hassini scored in the 70th minute. The Gao goal, very nice play down the left wing. Then he gets in front of the Syrian goalkeeper. I don't know what the Syrian goalkeeper is doing, just hesitating on his move. He should have came out right away, taken the ball, and he didn't. He didn't. So poor from Syria. They should be defending much better in those situations. And then the second goal, it's just a counterattack. I think it was Kao who actually gave the assist as well. Kind of nice. It was a nice counterattack, but the Syrian defense was all over the place. And then Kao gets a sweaty goal towards Al-Khazani, and of course, he's going to finish an empty net. But it was a good. Syria had some chances in this game, but judging by the highlights, they were as well good from set pieces. They created good chances down the right wing. This is a problem for Syria as well. They just cannot score. They just simply can't score. But you got to give it to UAE. Without Ali Makbout, who's also a very, very good striker, and he's been injured, it was a good performance from the UAE, who are obviously looking to make it to the third place and make it to the playoffs for the AFC. Now let's quickly look at the stats of the games. If you guys didn't watch the match, I can quickly give you some stats. 52% ball possession for Syria compared to 48 for UAE. 12 shots to 10 for Syria. Chances created 10-8, but 2 big chances fell to the feet of the UAE, and they converted it, and 0 big chances for Syria. Yeah, judging by the highlights, I mean, Syria didn't have a whole lot of glorious chances, shall we say, but they did create chances. I can't fault them for that. They actually tried to win this game and equalize it. They just didn't have enough firepower to do so. So UAE picked up a big win. This was a big win for them. I think they now have a 4-point edge over Lebanon now for the third place. So I think they still have some tough games ahead. But Bert Van Marwick's side are looking good to make it to the AFC playoffs. So congrats to the UAE. I think for Syria, it's getting to the end. I mean, mathematically, they're still in it, but they're 7 points now behind UAE. It's going to be a tall order for Syria to get back into this. I don't quite see it. Maybe they can start focusing on 2026 World Cup when AFC have more spots available in the World Cup, but it's got to improve. It's got to improve. They got to get a manager who can have the right tactics, picks the right players, because it seems like with the Syrian FA, kind of similar as the Iraq FA, they don't really have a long-term plan. They're going for the short term, and it doesn't quite work out. I talked about Syria as well, before I think it was before the World Cup qualifiers even started, they didn't re-sign the manager that got them to this final round, and it's kind of cost them in this scenario. So big win for UAE. Of course, how is everybody doing? Low, he wants to eat the mic. Yeah, he does, but now he's sleeping, thankfully. I will send you the link later, Sebastian. I'm going to first talk about AFC, and then I'll invite people for CONMEBOL, unless there's some Iranians in the chat who want to talk about them qualifying to the World Cup. Hello again, Matt, and congratulations to Iran. I think Iraq can get the third spot, but we'll find out. Isaac Barrios, thank you for tuning in. He says, can Chile make it to the World Cup? We'll discuss about CONMEBOL soon, and we'll discuss about Chile versus Argentina very soon. But I'm just saying right now, it's not looking good for Chile. It's not looking good for Chile. They should have at least gotten a point yesterday against Argentina. Now they lost. They got to go Bolivia next away. Oh, that's tough. And then the last 2 games is Brazil away. I don't see them winning that. And they got Uruguay at home in the last match. I don't think La Roja Chile are going to make it to the World Cup, but we'll discuss about that more once I start talking about CONMEBOL. But then the next game and the final game in Group A that we're going to discuss, it is Iran taking on Iraq. Obviously, rivals when it comes to international football, and Taremi getting the only goal of the game, and Iran should have won this game 3-4-0. They should have won it. They created so many glorious chances, and Skolkic's side, they couldn't get more goals, but they got the one valuable goal and got them the win. Iraq obviously were very much hampered by COVID as well. They didn't have a full bench. Same with Iran, the likes of Osman, and I think it was who else was missing. I know Osman was at least missing, but I can't remember who else. But Taremi, goal in the 48th minute, great play from him. The guy is just a fantastic striker. What can I say? I think he might be the best striker in AFC. If anybody wants to dispute me with that, go ahead. But Taremi is the best striker in AFC. And I think his partner next to him, Osman, is the second best striker in the AFC. So when you got two of the best, if you have the two best strikers in your confederation, your team is very, very good. And Iran picking up a win here and securing their spot to the World Cup later this year. But quickly, let's look at stats of the game because, look at the bench for Iraq, guys. They had, 7 guys on the bench. Decimated by COVID. Absolutely decimated by COVID. And one name to look out for in this team that came off the bench for Iraq is Zidan Iqbal, who plays his club football for Manchester United. So very, very big moment for him. He's only 18 years old. Probably a future talent, kind of like Hannibal Mejbri. So good for Zidane representing Iraq, making it onto the field, but it proved to be nothing as, Iran are just too good, man. They're just way too good. Now, I want to discuss about Iran and their chances for the World Cup later this year. But quickly, let's look at the stats of the game. Like I told you guys, 6 big chances. 6 big chances Iran had. If you haven't watched the highlights, they had multiple. The Iraq goalkeeper had a stellar game. And then Iran just couldn't finish their meals. But at least Taremi did, and he got the goal. But 21 shots compared to 10, 16 chances created to 5, 6 big chances to 2. Iran were just dominant throughout the whole entire game, and they just couldn't bury the chances that they created. Could Osman have made a difference? Maybe, but he obviously has COVID. But big win for them, and now they will qualify to another World Cup. Is Iran. Team Melli, of course. Congrats to every Iranian out there. This is just becoming, a normal thing for them. They just qualified to another World Cup. This is what they do. But quickly, I want to show you guys what they have done in the past as a footballing nation in the World Cup. AD, thank you for tuning in. He says, my grandmother was born in Iraq and my grandfather was born in Iran. It's like a derby. Yeah, it is a bit of a derby for you and probably for that matchup as well between Iran and Iraq. But let me just quickly show you guys how Iran have performed in the past in the World Cup. So obviously their debut was in 1978 in Argentina. They made it back to then the 1998 World Cup where they picked up their first ever win against the United States as well. In 2006, they drew one match. 2014, they drew one match, but they lost one match to Lionel Messi when Messi scored an absolutely ridiculous goal against Iran. 20 in a World Cup. Could have had a good chance of getting out of the group, but just they didn't score enough goals. Carlos Queiroz, obviously the manager in the last 2 editions. Now, the main goal for Iran is get out of the group. If you can get out of the group and make it to the round of 16, huge achievement. Massive, massive achievement. Other countries in Asia that have done that, obviously Japan, you think of South Korea. I'm trying to think of anybody else. I think it's only those 2 nations who have ever really made it out of the group stage from Asia. Australia as well, excuse me. Trying to think who else. No, not China. No, I think those are the only 2 teams. I think those are the only 3 teams to make it out of the group from the AFC. So the main goal for them is if they can get a good group stage matchup, Iran, make it out of the group. And I think they can. This side is much better than the side from the 2018 World Cup. Much, much better because Carlos Queiroz was holding back this side a little bit with just his tactics, man. Just too defensive is Carlos Queiroz. Skokic seems to have, he seems to be happy there managing the side. The players seem to be enjoying. Obviously, a little bit of beef with Taremi in the last international break. This seems to be sorted out, and now he was involved in this one. So for Skokic and Iran, main target is if you get a good draw, if you have a similar draw to the one you had last edition where you had Portugal and Spain in your group, you're not going to make it out. But I think Iran can make it out of the group. I think this side is good enough. When you have Taremi and you have Osman and you have Jahanbash and you have all these great players, I would say, it's amazing. Like you look at some other players that didn't even get called up. Let me see here. There was another guy that didn't get called up. Oh yeah, Ahmad Nurul Ali. So they have some experienced players. Ehsan Hajazavi, Majid Hosseini. They all were COVID, so that's why they didn't come. Now let's look at the side that were selected. Obviously Godos, but Godos doesn't really play for Brentford at the moment. He's sitting mostly on the bench. You have obviously Jahan Bosch. So this side is really, really good. I mean, it's really good. I mean, Mehdi Torabi, you have Saeed Estaloli, and the one guy to always look out for is not Amir Ali Reza Beiran Fund. Obviously, you guys remember him with his crazy long throws he had in the World Cup. The guy is an absolute unit in the goal. So really, for Skolkic's side, is get out of the group stage. It's you're not with Iran, you're not expected to win the World Cup. You're not expected to make it to the quarterfinals. But if you can make it to the round of 16, that would be a huge achievement and something you can build on for the future for higher aspirations as a football nation. So congrats to Iran. They are going to make it to another World Cup, their third straight one, and it is now going to be their sixth total. So this will be their sixth appearance ever in a World Cup. Matt says, I agree, round of 16 is the target. Definitely is the target for Iran. And Faiz Mohad, thank you for tuning in. He said Saudi Arabia too got qualified to the round of 16 in the World Cup. Which year was that? When did Saudi Arabia get qualified? I'm trying to think. When did Saudi Arabia qualify to the round of 16? I'm blanking. You can let me know, Faiz. But when did they qualify to the round of 16 of the World Cup? All right. I'm trying to think who else, but I can only think of those three nations. So that's the target for Iran. Can they reach it? I think they can because they have a good side, but it's just what group will they get? That will determine if I think they can get out of the group. Because let's be honest here, if they get paired with like Brazil and Belgium, I don't see it. So it's difficult. It's difficult. 1994? Did they make it out of the group in 1994, Saudi Arabia? Man, I'm going to blank it. But congrats to every Iranian out there. You guys have a fantastic side, and I think this is a good side. This is a good side, and Skolkic knows what he's doing as a manager. Pierre, thank you for tuning in. He says, you think Iran or Saudi Arabia can qualify from Africa? I think so. These sides have actually a lot of quality, and they also have a good, I think, structure in their FA. You look at Saudi Arabia, they have a fantastic manager in Hervé Renard, obviously very familiar with African football. Then with Iran, they have quality players playing in Europe, and the Iranian league is no joke either. They have quality teams. Same thing with Saudi Arabia. Al Hilal constantly winning the AFC Champions League. So I think they would qualify from Africa, but obviously we'll never know because they have to go to certain parts of Africa, which is very hostile and very, very difficult to play in. Same thing then for the African sides when they go to play in Saudi Arabia, hostile crowd, Iran, hostile crowd. So there's a lot of factors, but I think they would qualify from Africa. I think so. I think they have quality that people don't really talk about. Brazil and Germany could be in the same group. Yeah, that would be bad for Iran as well. But congrats to Iran. We move on then to Group B. Actually, we'll quickly review Group A and the standings of the group as Iran have qualified and South Korea will soon qualify as well because this group is pretty much over. It's pretty much over. So South Korea now have a 2-point edge over UAE. If they win their next match, they will qualify to the World Cup. UAE currently have a 4-point edge over Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria. So UAE are looking good to make it to that third place in the AFC playoffs, which would be I didn't think UAE would do it. I thought it would be Iraq, but UAE have surprised me, and winning without Ali Mahmoud is a massive achievement. And we know Iran have qualified with 10 points, but I think Syria are pretty much out of it. Sorry to every Syrian out there. Iraq and Lebanon, they can still fight for it, but it's going to be difficult. Gaining 4 points in the last 3 games is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But I'm going to quickly check something. I want to look at what are UAE's last 3 games. So the UAE play Iran away. Okay, that's going to be difficult. Obviously, Iraq and Lebanon are going to play against each other, so that's a pretty much must win. The UAE then going to go away to Iraq. So it could get testy for UAE because they got to play South Korea, Iran, and Iraq. So could get interesting. Hello, AD. How are you doing? Cross-continental qualifiers sound more interesting to me than more teams in World Cup. I agree. I think we should do something like that. Screw having more teams in a World Cup. 48 teams is a joke, if you ask me. But hey, it is what it is. AU Refix, thank you for tuning in. He says, want to see Diaz do great against Peru tonight as a Liverpool fan. Well, I was already going to watch the game, but now I have even more incentive to watch the game. And look at the kit. There you go. I've had this kit for 10 years, guys. and now it came good. But you said it's in 1994 World Cup, and they got beaten against Sweden 3-1. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I was just trying to go from recent memory, so I didn't actually know Saudi Arabia made it to the round of 16. So thank you for letting me know that. Let's see, that's why you guys are here. Palomo says I want to cry. It's all right, Palomo. It's all right. And UAE underperformed at the Arab Cup. Yeah, they made it to the quarterfinals, if I'm not mistaken. And then they got destroyed by Qatar. I think it was like 5-0. And the World Cup 94, the best era for Sweden. Yes, we all know that. We all know that. But we move on then to Group B. So congrats to Iran and South Korea. Well, they're going to qualify the next round. I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for them. But then we move on to Group B of the AFC, where Australia picked up a massive win because they need to win these 2 games in this window. They need to win these 2 games, Australia, if you ask me. They played against Vietnam, and sorry, obviously a fellow YouTuber in Macwell. If you guys haven't checked out Macwell, I would highly recommend. He makes fantastic YouTube football videos. He's a Vietnamese fan, so I mean, it's been a diabolical campaign for them. 0 points still. They haven't even picked up a draw. And Australia, looking convincing, but the second half at the beginning was a little bit nervous because Vietnam got a lot of good chances, but they just couldn't convert the chances. So McLaren in the 30th minute, poor defending from Vietnam. Rogic, poor defending again from Vietnam. How you allow Rogic to be that wide open? Good win then in the 72nd minute. Obviously, Vietnam are just trying to push for a goal, leaving themselves exposed at the back. And then McGree, the same thing. Because I think the last 2 goals, pretty much, I could say that Vietnam were trying to push for the goals, and they left themselves exposed at the back. And then Australia just took advantage of it. And, they have some dangerous players. When you think of McLaren, you guys might know who McLaren is, but he's one of the top goal scorers, I think, in the A League. Rogic, we know, obviously, from Celtic. So Australia still have some good players. Obviously, is this the team from like the 2006 to 2014 era? No, it isn't. It's not that same Australia, but they still have some quality players. And Mobile, who plays for Midtjylland in Denmark, wasn't even called up to the side. So I think he must have some COVID or what's going on there. But Vietnam, I'll give them some credit. They were in the match in the second half, but they just don't have the quality to get the goals at the moment. They just don't have the qualities, because you look at the stats here. Australia completely dominated when it comes to chances created and big chances, because the first half, it was all Australia. Let's be honest. It was all Australia. Vietnam didn't really have much of it in the first half. Second half, beginning, first, I think, 10 to 15 minutes, Vietnam were much more into it. But they're just not a good side at the moment. They're not. But I see a good future for Vietnam ahead, maybe making it to the 2026 World Cup, but at the moment it's just not there for them. It's just not there for them. So big win for Australia. They needed this. They're going away to Oman. They need to win that game, because if you guys don't know, Australia's last 2 games are Japan at home and Saudi Arabia away. So it could get interesting in this group to see which 2 teams will qualify directly to the World Cup, because also on, I think, Tuesday, it is Japan hosting Saudi Arabia. And if Japan win that game, it's going to be 2 points separated by the top 3. So I think the window in March is going to get nice in AFC Group B. But congrats to Australia. A big win for them, because they needed it. But I think it was never in doubt with the quality they have. They're a good home side compared to, obviously, Vietnam, who just are poor at the back. They just can't defend. They just simply cannot defend. They've conceded way too many goals throughout this campaign. And that's something that they will try and fix on in the future, as they will try and qualify for the 2026 World Cup. But we move on to Japan to China 0. Everybody was writing off Japan, saying, oh no, they're not going to make it to the World Cup. And after losing to Oman in the first match day, but they've now slowly picked up form. Obviously, no Tomiyasu, no Yoshida in the lineup in this match. I think they have injuries, so they weren't called up, but still, it doesn't matter. This side just have quality all over the pitch. Osako, 13th minute, a penalty, clear penalty. I think it hit the hand of the Chinese player. It was a clear penalty. And then Ito with a brilliant header. I mean, Ito's header was brilliant. I didn't even know he had that sort of leaping ability, man. He leaped to get that header in. So good win for Japan. They needed this. Should they have won more? Of course, because this side also, Japan and South Korea are similar teams. They create so many chances, but they simply cannot finish. They are brilliant sides. Look at this, guys. China had one shot, right? The one shot was from a free kick. And it was pretty close to free kick, but that's all China had in this game. It was from minute 1 to minute 93, or however long this game went, it was a complete and utter domination from Japan. 16 shots, 12 chances created, 3 big chances, 63% ball possession. Japan are a good side. I didn't write them off, but I was a little bit worried when they lost at home to Oman, because I was like, that's a pretty shocking result if you ask me. And then, what's even more remarkable is that people were really writing them off and thinking, okay, well, actually, when they lost to Saudi Arabia, people were writing them off and saying, it's looking bad for Japan. I think it was like 3 points in their first 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. And we're like, oh no. But then, Australia kind of started fading, and now Japan's taken over that second spot. So I think Japan are going to be fine. Even without Tomiyasu and Yoshida, they were still dominant in this game. They simply have to convert their chances. I don't know how many times I have to say this about Japan and South Korea. These teams constantly create the chances over and over again, but they simply can't. But they got the win, and that's the most important thing. 2-0, it should have been 3 or 4-0. Once again, I'll say that, because look at this side, guys. You have Minamino, you have Osako, you have Ito, Endo, Nagatomo, Sakai, brilliant players all over the pitch. They just can't finish. They just cannot simply finish. Matt says, is a boost for Australia 100%. Fayou says, lack of physicality of Vietnam against a physical team like Australia is a mismatch, I guess. It is a mismatch, but, Vietnam are very technically good, but, the physicality does take a part into it. But also, Vietnam had a lot of good chances, and Matty Ryan made an incredible save, I think, from one shot at least, where it was like point blank, and Matt Ryan had to make unbelievable. But it is a little bit of the physicality, but it's also that, Vietnam's league isn't as good as, the Australian league or Scottish league. So that's something that they need to improve on in Vietnam, is get players maybe outside of Vietnam, make them play, maybe in the Thai league or Japanese league or Korean league to get themselves better and better. So that's something that Vietnam will need to look for in the future. Vietnam were never going to go far, but 0 points is low. Bear in mind, they were in a competitive group, include topping a group with UAE. Yeah, that was the Southeast Asian group, though, qualifying before. I didn't write off Japan. I was sure about getting to the top 2, says Matt. I think the group will stay as it is. All right. Big up to Ecuador. Yeah, we're going to talk about, obviously, CONMEBOL soon. Crazy game. I think Japan can beat Saudi Arabia, though. Is that Tanaka from Hoika? No, it's not. He's not good enough for the it's not going to be good enough for them. Best team AFC right now, it's Iran. It's Iran, and I don't think there's any debate at the moment. They haven't lost the game with Skokic as manager. They haven't lost a game with Skokic as manager. That's how good Iran are at the moment. Japan. So, easy win for Japan. Never in doubt. I knew they would win 1 or 2-0, because China just couldn't create anything. And the last game in Group B, Saudi Arabia 1, Oman 0. Saudi Arabia and Herval Renard's side just keep on moving. They just keep on moving. They keep doing their own thing, and they just keep racking up those wins. They keep racking up, and keep piling up the points, and they are looking good to make it to another World Cup. But Al-Birakan in the 48th minute, it was a little bit of a scramble in the box, but he's there to then just finish it into the net. I think he scored as well against Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Al-Birakan scored against Japan as well in the game. And I mean, Saudi Arabia had some good chances, but Oman, not a whole lot either. And then all of a sudden, it was exactly like the last time these two teams met. Oman created I want to say created a massive chance, but 93rd minute, almost the end of the game, they had a shot from like 35 yards out, and it almost went past the Saudi Arabian goalkeeper's net. It would have been a ridiculous goal, but he made a good save. He made a very, very good save. Let me give his praise. I can't remember his name. Owais made an incredible save from the shot. Otherwise, it was going to go in the back of the net, but it didn't, and Saudi Arabia hang on to a 1-0 win. Oman, they are a very gritty side. I have to give them full credit, because I thought they were going to finish last. But Ivakovic, who's, a very experienced manager when it comes to World Cup qualifiers, he obviously led to Iran to the 2006 World Cup, so he knows what he's doing. But stats of the game, 9 shots. See, not a whole lot of shots in this game, guys. 9 shots to 7, big chances 1 to 2. But judging by the highlights, I cannot remember where Oman had the big chances. That's one thing I can't remember. Where did Oman have the big chances? If somebody was watching the match, please let me know, because I'm judging this by the highlights, because I didn't watch the game. So I'm going to say that right now. I didn't watch the game, so I'm bearing in mind the highlights. But, Saudi Arabia held on to another victory over Oman. They've been doing this. They haven't been doing this a lot in the World Cup qualifiers, but it seems like against Oman, it's just like you got to hang on to the last minute for Saudi Arabia, and they did. They did, and I got to give full credit against Ohervaran. I think the guy is just a brilliant international manager. He just knows how to get sides to the World Cup or winning, cup competitions like the AFCON. He's won it 2 times. So good win for Saudi Arabia. They still maintain that gap over Japan and obviously Australia, and now they got a big game against Japan away. That's going to be a big one because if they lose that, it could get interesting, as you guys can see the standings here. So Saudi Arabia will travel away to Japan in the next game. If Japan win that, it will be 1 point behind Saudi Arabia. And then if Australia win their game, they'll be 2 points behind Saudi Arabia. So if Saudi Arabia can beat Japan, I think mathematically they will qualify. Yes, they will mathematically qualify then because then they'll be 7 points ahead of Japan. So I think if you're Saudi Arabia, just go for the win, man. Just go for the win. Secure that spot with 2 games to go, and you can just start preparing for the Qatar World Cup. If they lose the game, oh boy, it gets interesting. Oh boy, it gets interesting. Because let me quickly check. I think Saudi Arabia have to travel away to Vietnam in one of the last games. No, it's China. So obviously Australia got to travel away to Oman. It's not going to be easy. Not a guaranteed win. They picked up a 3-1 win, I think, early in the campaign, but it's not going to be guaranteed for Australia. And then for Saudi Arabia, in the next 2 games, they play Japan away, China away, and then the last one is Australia at home. So is it all coming down to Saudi Arabia against Australia on the final match day? It could be, or Saudi Arabia could secure their spot by then. But it's going to be fascinating to see what happens indeed. Let's see what happened. What about Lanzini in the Argentinian midfield? Well, we're going to discuss about the Chile, Argentina. Don't worry about that. And Faiz says that Saudi missed their midfield controller in Salman Al-Faraj big time. That's why they didn't play that well comparatively. Yeah, it wasn't the most stellar performance from Saudi Arabia. Like, they've been more impressive during these World Cup qualifiers. Like the match against Japan, I thought they were very good. But hey, you know what? You don't have to play good in these World Cup qualifiers, guys. It's a big thing here. Performances don't matter. You can play amazingly and draw the game. It's about just getting the 3 points. It's just about getting to the World Cup. And then you can worry about performances maybe in the lead up to the World Cup, and you're like, oh no, everything's going wrong. Everything's going wrong. In these World Cup qualifiers, if you look at CONMEBOL, for example, it's just about getting points there. It doesn't matter how you perform. Get the 3 points and get your spot to the World Cup. And if Saudi Arabia, I didn't watch the full game, so I guess I'm assuming that Faiz did, that it's just winning the games and securing your spot. You can relax then. You can then show some performances, maybe then a last game when you're comfortably in it. So, yeah, if you didn't play well, it doesn't matter. Just win, win, win. Winning is all that matters. And that's how it is in this group. So the next match day, it's a big one for Japan and Saudi Arabia. It's a big one. Man. Let me quickly check something. I'm going to quickly check something, guys, before I head out. If you have any other final questions about the AFC, please let me know in the chat. If anybody wants to come on and share their thoughts about the AFC World Cup qualifiers, please let me know in the chat as well, as I want to quickly check something about this game between Japan and Saudi Arabia, which will start at 12:15 a.m. for me. p.m. Well, that's a pretty good time for me. Let me quickly check something. So Saudi Arabia picked up a 3-2. Okay, it was Asian Cup. So I don't think Saudi Arabia have ever beaten Japan in Japan. So that's something that Saudi Arabia are going to have to change in this match. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be tough. That's something I was checking. Given Australia and Japan play each other, Saudi only need 1 win from remaining 3 matches, I think. Yeah, I think so. But you don't want to get to that scenario. I don't think you want to get to that scenario because, Saudi Arabia are also going to play against Australia on the final match day. And imagine then if you're on level of points and maybe Australia have also a better goal difference at the moment. And then if they need only a point, all they need to do is just draw. So you don't want to get to that scenario. I think it's just best you win the game. You just gotta win the game against Japan. So that's it. But I think China, they're almost certainly eliminated. They're 9 points behind Australia, but they got a -6 goal difference. So also Vietnam, they're eliminated. Big up Vietnam, though. Smith Yoon says, I think Oman eliminated from World Cup contention. No, they're not. They're 7 points behind Australia. So with 3 matches to go, if Australia lose all their games and Oman win all of their games, which can happen. It can happen. If Oman beat Australia then play Japan and Saudi Arabia. If they lose, it still can happen for for Oman, but it's looking difficult. It's very much looking difficult. It's just next month for Australia is a big one. It's a big one. I think all Australian fans agree, but it's all going to come down to next Tuesday between Japan and Saudi Arabia. I'll definitely be watching the match from work. So that is all the action then of AFC. If you have any final thoughts in the chat, please let me know as I will continue with, oh my God, here we go. All right. Here we go, people. Here we go. Oh boy, this game. Let me get some water. Let me get some water for this. Oh, all right. How long do we have for this game? Alejandro is definitely going to have some talking points about this. Ecuador won. Brazil won. We already know Brazil are through to the World Cup. Ecuador are trying to qualify back to the World Cup for the first time since 2014. Before we get to all the VAR drama and before we get to, probably discussing about it, first 5 minutes, Ecuador should have been in the lead. They had a great chance from a free kick, which Estopinian, his deliveries on the day were fantastic. I watched this game, guys. It was entertaining football. Yes, there was a lot of stoppages in play, and that kind of disrupted the flow of the matchup. It was still amazing to watch. This was CONMEBOL football at its best, to be honest, because Ecuador didn't back down and say, oh, we're just going to lay down and let Brazil win the game. Ecuador took it to Brazil and wanted to win. They should have been 1-0 up before that Casemiro goal. They should have been 1-0 up, Ecuador, before that Casemiro goal. It didn't happen. Then Casemiro scores in the 6th minute of the matchup. Just poor defending from Ecuador's part. Just poor. They could have cleared the ball multiple times. Then there was a goal line scramble, and then Casemiro puts it in. It was just terrible defending from Ecuador. They should have cleared their lines much earlier, and they didn't. So it was 1-0 for Brazil. Early lead, but Ecuador didn't back down. They didn't back down. Now we're going to get to the VAR because, he went to the monitor a lot. And if anybody wants to come on and share their thoughts as well about the game, there is a link in the chat as well if you want to join. I'm just going to get my headphones quickly as I'm going to get the VAR photos out for us because we got to start talking about this, the incidents that happened in this game. All right, this is not the right photo that I wanted. Give me a second. I'm going to try and find the right photo. There we go. Oh boy. What a crazy match. I don't know how Ecuadorians or Brazilian Brazilians were kind of just more chill about it because they're already through, but let's talk about the first incident, right? Let's talk about the first incident in this game. Let me quickly get it up for you. There we go. So, Alexander Dominguez, 15th minute. Straight red card. And there's no complaints about it. I'm sorry. This is a straight red card. If you don't think this is a straight red, this is the exact same scenario as, you could say about Ederson and Sadio Mane or Nigel de Jong should have gotten a red card against, I think it was Xabi Alonso. He did. I think he missed the ball, if memory serves me right. Then he completely kicks Matheus Cunha, and it's a straight red card. No debate about it. I don't think he gave a red card at the beginning, went to the VAR monitor, and he gave the straight red card, the referee. So this is a clear red card, if you ask me. I don't know if you guys agree in the chat. Please let me know, as I also have a guest on, Sebastian.
Hello.
There we go. Hello, Sebastian. Hello. What did you is this a red card for you?
Yes. I'm gonna hire the... Is this okay, the boy?
Yeah, you're good. Hey, we actually have Alejandro. Hello.
Hey, Michael.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I don't know how my mic sounds. This is my first time doing this.
You're good. Your mic is good. You don't have to have the camera on if you don't want to. It's
okay.
Not mandatory. But if you want to have it on, it's okay. All right. But I guess you're the Ecuadorian here, Alejandro. So, is this a red card for you?
Yes, that was definitely a red card. I think so.
Yeah.
Killed him.
Yeah, I don't know what Alexander Dominguez is thinking there. I know he's trying to clear it, but he got none of the ball in all of Matheus Cunha in this scenario. And then this game was crazy bad. Then in the 20th minute, Emerson Royal gets the red card. Sebastian, did you watch this game?
Yeah.
Did you think that was the second yellow for Emerson?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess Alejandro agrees.
This game was the craziest game I have watched this month.
I think this is if you would ask somebody what is a CONMEBOL match, you just say watch this game. This is a CONMEBOL match.
And just show a video of this.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, Emerson Royale then gets the red card in the 20th minute. Then, all right, let me just get this one up for us. God, Alisson had a mare of a game. I gotta see this. So, I'll ask Alejandro. What do you think? You know, Alisson wins the ball, his leg continues, and he hits Ener Valencia in the face. Do you think this is a red card?
It was outside of the box, and I do think it was a red card.
Okay, but he wins the ball first. That's my argument to you.
Yeah, I think it could be argued that it was a yellow card, so that's why I wasn't too bothered when they showed the yellow. But I do think it also could have easily been a red.
Sebastian?
Same. I agree. Alisson, why is he even doing that? He tried to do Firmino celebration. That's what people said, like on when the 433 they posted about the games or not. You follow them on Insta, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. People say Varsil or something, but seriously, why, Alisson, would you do that when you know it can be a red card?
I think Alisson, he makes mistakes once in a while, but oh well, Mr. Dominic Rich, hello, how you doing? And he says it's not a red. And I have to agree with Dom. I don't think this is a red. Sorry, Alejandro and Sebastian. I think he wins the ball, and then Ener Valencia just runs into him, and Alisson kicks it. What is he supposed to do?
I think the red was because he had a high foot, like it was high towards the head. I think that's
probably why. So if memory serves me right, Alejandro, you can correct me. He gave the red card on the pitch, right?
Yes, right on the pitch, right away.
All right, and then he went to. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, how bad was the referee, Alejandro?
I have no words. I just have to say this was the first time I felt my heart hurting during a game. Just constantly emotions, just going happy to sad to anger. I don't know what to think.
It was crazy. Oh man, Sebastian, how bad was the refereeing?
4.
Oh wow!
Yes.
I'm surprised you gave it that high.
Man, this was a hilarious match for me to watch.
Oh yeah,
But
from a neutral's perspective, it was pretty hilarious.
I wanted Ecuador to win, by the way.
Yeah, so did I, definitely. Okay, then we get to, I can't remember was it Estupiñán who went down in the penalty spot from Anthony's tackle?
It was, yes.
Yeah, that's not a penalty. Do we agree?
I agree. It was no penalty. Yeah.
He went down way too easily. I don't know what Estupiñán is doing there.
He did a Neymar.
He basically did a Neymar. But then Ecuador get the goal. Felix Torres has been a revelation for Ecuador, I must say, man. He's been a fantastic player, Felix Torres. I think he plays his club football for Santos Laguna from a corner. Poor defending from. You know what was really good, Alejandro, for Ecuador? Every time they got a set piece, they were so dangerous.
Oh man, I can't imagine if we had Mena because he was injured for this game. I think we could have definitely won this game. So I'm just every single time. I don't know if it must be hard from like a neutral perspective, but in Ecuador, like our fans, we always get excited whenever there's set pieces because I feel like more than half of our goals come from either free kicks or corners.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were really dangerous on every free kick and corner. I got to say that. So Felix Torres then gets the goal. And then I can't remember what minute it was. And then we get to this moment. I don't know what. First off, I got to say this about Alisson. He had a terrible game. He just looked very, very cautious about every decision he made. Wasn't confident. Sebastian, before I ask the Ecuadorian, what is this a penalty for you? Because he does get the ball first, but he completely takes out. I can't. Is it Blata or who is it? Who did he take out?
Number 18. Is it number 18?
I think it's number 18. What was his name?
I think it was Felipe Caicedo. No,
Edward Precedo. Precedo.
Precedo, yeah. Precedo.
Yeah, Precedo. All right, Sebastian, this is a penalty.
No.
You were very. I think you were like the referee yesterday. You didn't know what to do. So why is this? So why is this not a penalty then for you?
He goes for the ball first. Yeah, basically it.
Okay, Alejandro, what do you think? Take off your Ecuadorian glasses off and just think it objectively. Is this a penalty?
No, it was not a penalty.
All right.
But it was a red. I think it deserved a yellow, which would have been his second yellow, which would have been very interesting to see as they had no more substitutes left.
Man, I don't think this is a penalty either. I mean, to be honest, obviously the fans in the stadium, they're going crazy. I gotta say that crowd was amazing. Just hearing them on the TV, they were amazing. The crowd, but this is not a penalty either. He gets the ball first, and then Caicedo just runs into him and tries to sell it for a penalty. He does, and then it's just a whole melee around the referees. So, what do you think? What do you think overall, Alejandro, of Ecuador's performance? Do you think they should have won the game?
I 100% think they should have won the game. Oh my god. I think everyone was very scared weeks leading up to this game, but as the excitement the game got closer, excitement got higher, and as we saw them perform really well, and I do think they deserve the win.
Sebastian?
I agree. Ecuador should have won this game. They should have won it.
I mean, go ahead.
That player who said easy red card at AFCON. No, did he play for Hoiko?
Who played for Hoiko?
That player who commented there. Taivo.
What are you on about, Sebastian?
That player. Do you see that that tweet?
No. Tayo. Well, yeah. He played in Finland.
Oh.
Yes, he played in Finland. But I gotta say, man, Ecuador should have won this game. How they didn't come away with the win is beyond me. I mean, do you guys remember Gonzalo Plata's run where he went through 4 Brazilian defenders and almost got it into the back of the net? I think it was Estrada who had the chance in front of the goal and he should have buried it. I don't know how he missed it, but I mean, you know what, man? You got to give credit to Ecuador. Brazil, I just think they were just lackluster. They were just poor. They were poor on the day, but I just don't think they wanted to match the intensity that Ecuador showed in this matchup. So all you could say, Alejandro, is you got to be proud. And I think you guys are going to still qualify. That's no issues. And I think you showed that you guys are no joke going into the World Cup either.
I agree. Yeah, I'm very excited for the World Cup, and I'm very excited for Tuesday's game with Peru.
Oh, that's away at Peru, right?
Yeah, it's away in Peru.
We need you to beat Peru, please.
We'll do it for you, Sebastian. We'll do it for you.
Yeah.
There we go. So
Chile needs to go to the World Cup.
Well, we'll get to Chile. Watch more crazy games and red cards this January than maybe in the last couple of years altogether. I agree. I mean, AFCON plus World Cup qualifiers, it's all downhill. Misha, thank you for tuning in. I need to see these incidents. Yes, you do. Doug, how are you doing? Dom, thank you very much for the kind words. And yes, it is Alejandro. Yes, indeed it is. So, let's see, man. It was a great game to watch. I got to be honest. It was a fantastic game to watch. So, big up to Ecuador, man. They should have won it. I mean, if you look, Dani Alves even played.
Can I say Dani Alves played his heart out? Give me 1 second, Michael. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. But I mean, Sebastian, what do you think Brazil can win the World Cup? For me, I can't. If they have these fullbacks like Dani Alves, Alexandro, Emerson, how are they going to win this World Cup?
I don't know. Fullback 11. They have 11 fullbacks. I don't know. They can't win it. And I actually, it's hard to pick a World Cup winner, of course.
No, but because Brazil, they are expected to win the World Cup, right?
Mm.
But for me, with these fullbacks that they have at the moment, they don't have any good fullbacks. They don't. I would take Estupinian in this Brazil side. He's 100 times better than Alexandro. 100 times better. So, do you think Alejandro? What do you think is a problem for Brazil? Can you see them winning the World Cup, or what's something that holding them back from maybe winning it?
I do see them winning the World Cup. I'm very interested because it's been a long time since we've seen Europe and like a World Cup. That's what's so exciting, is seeing them clash. So it's hard to tell. I don't know. I feel like midfield. I want to say Fred just because I'm a Manchester fan, but I do think he plays a little better for Brazil. But I do think their left side, especially left center back and left back, they do have problems.
Lodi.
Yeah, Lodi's not good enough either, man. Honestly, these fullbacks are just not good. They have a good midfield. You have Fred, Casemiro, and all these sort of guys. You have great wingers. They have great wingers, but just the fullbacks, I mean, they're just atrocious. I mean, you have good center backs, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Militao, and all these guys, and Alisson, he was terrible. Watching him week in and week out, he was terrible in this game. I don't know what happened to Alisson, man. I don't know where was his head at. But quickly, if you guys didn't watch the match, Brazil, they dominate possession, but not quite. Shots were more to Brazil, but honestly, Ecuador had the better chances, and they should have won this game. I think the stats don't really tell the whole matchup of this game. Oh, Dominic. Thank you very much, Dominic, for the donation. He says, keep up the great work, Mike. Thank you very much, Dom, for the nice donation. Thank you very much. Yeah, got to keep up with the World Cup qualifiers, man. CONMEBOL is the best. Honestly, CONMEBOL is the best qualifiers to cover. 100%. It's ridiculous what goes on in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers. So, if you want to stay on, I'm going to talk about the other games in CONMEBOL.
I want to say.
I actually have to go, but thank you for having me, Mike.
No worries. Thank you very much, Alejandro, for coming on. You can come on anytime you want, by the way.
Right.
Vamos, Ecuador.
Vamos, Ecuador.
Vamos, Ecuador. Sí se puede.
Sí se puede. That's all I heard last night in the crowd. Sí se puede. That's all I heard. And if you guys don't know, that means yes, we can. I think it is. Yes, we can. So, Uruguay and Paraguay. Let's see what everybody else is here. Thanks for being in the streams, guys, legends. Yes, exactly, Sebastian. Like and subscribe. I don't even know how many. I haven't even said that once yet. How many likes do we have so far? 10 likes. So
11.
If we can get up to 15, that would be awesome. And thank you very much, Dom, as well, for your kind donation. So I don't know if you watched this game, Sebastian. Paraguay against Uruguay. 1-0 for Uruguay. Luis Suarez with the only goal of the game. Diego Lopez's first game in charge as Uruguay manager. And still, this side is just lacking goal scoring. It's just lacking goal scoring again. But I'll say this. The first half, they should have been 1 or 2-0 up because they hit the crossbar, I think, twice, the post once. Uruguay were pretty good, but Paraguay had their chances as well in this match. But what's been the main problem for Paraguay as well in this whole World Cup qualifiers? Goal scoring. They simply just don't have the goal scorers in this team. You have Sanabria, you have Almiron, but these guys have just not stepped up. You have Romero as well, but it's just Paraguay. They need a whole rebirth. They have a good manager in Scoletto, who I think is a good manager, former Boca Juniors manager, but they need to get some better. What?
LA Galaxy also.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't need to talk about his LA Galaxy time. It was terrible. But in 15 matches, Paraguay have scored 9 goals. Now that's a big problemo. That's a big problemo if you ask me. For Uruguay, they've only scored 15 goals in 15 games. That's not good either with the side that they have. So Suarez, good goal from him. It was an assist from Diego Godin. I mean, Diego Godin just put a long ball towards Suarez and he puts it into the back of the net. Good finish from him, left-footed. They should have won this game 2 or 3-0. Uruguay were pretty good. I don't think they were completely dominating by the highlights. They created enough chances. And, credit to Diego Lopez. He tried to mix it up a little bit, not starting, Cavani up top, but starting Darwin Núñez. You have Pelistri, who's obviously a Manchester United player on loan. Yes. I can't remember where he's on loan at, if I'm not mistaken. Alaves. You obviously have, this midfield, Vecino, Bentancur, Valverde is pretty decent. And then the four defenders, Araujo, Godin, Jimenez, Oliveira. it's a good side. And obviously, there was no Muslera for the first time in a long time for Uruguay. So
he was not picked, I think. Or was he injured?
I think he's injured, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Lucas Torreira also had a COVID. So you guys see here, 3 big chances, right? They hit the crossbar and the post on multiple occasions, did Uruguay. And they should have won this game 2 or 3-0. Do you want to say anything about this matchup?
Well, Paraguay need a player that can score, finish, and score goals, just like Uruguay have. They have Cavani, Suarez, Nunez. They have other players, which I don't know. But Uruguay, they should have scored more. They won the match. That's the important thing. I think they're gonna make the World Cup actually. Well, let's see who does Uruguay have in the last matches.
Well, the next match, which is next Tuesday, they have Venezuela at home. That's going to be a win. They have Peru at home, and then their last game is Chile away.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep, exactly. So this was an important win for Uruguay. They needed to get some confidence builder, and they did in this matchup. So 1-0 for Uruguay in this game. But Paraguay are pretty much done. They're pretty much, they have no chance anymore, I think. I have to quickly recheck how many points they are now behind. They are
13, I think.
Okay, well, they're 6 points behind. So they're not completely out of it, but they have Paraguay. I think they have Ecuador at home. Then they go away to Brazil and away to Peru. So they
ain't winning. They ain't getting to the World Cup.
It's not getting to the World Cup, unfortunately, for Paraguay. But then the next game, I should have got my Argentinian jersey on for this. I have an Argentinian jersey. It is Argentina 2, Chile, their rivals 1. So what do we Angel Di Maria, what a goal. I mean,
I have to say that was a very good goal. Claudio Bravo could have done better. Also,
Sebastian, he's not saving that. I'm sorry. That was just a brilliant shot from Angel Di Maria.
It hurts.
We'll get to the second goal. That one we'll talk about. But then in the 21st minute, who else other than Big Ben Brereton Diaz with the equalizer. It was a great cross from Marcelino Nunes. And then Brereton with an incredible header. How he looped it over Emiliano Martinez is beyond me. But big up to Ben Brereton Diaz. A great story, as we all know. Yeah. And then the 34th minute, Rodrigo De Paul driving down the midfield, gets the shot off. Claudio Bravo spills it straight into Lautaro.
I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what Bravo was drinking. What was he even? Then he also got injured, as you can see there. Brian Cortez went in. The goalkeeper.
So Martinez finishes it, and it finishes 2-1 for Argentina. You know, they didn't play amazing. They didn't have to be honest. I think just getting a comfortable win. And if I'm not mistaken, this game was in altitude in Chile. That was the whole... Yeah, because I think that's what the Chile FA wanted to do. They wanted to have this in high altitude, make it difficult for Argentina. But coming away, 2-1 victory, really damping now, I think, Chile's chances of qualifying to the World Cup. It's difficult for Chile. I mean, looking at their last games, it's not easy. So, I mean, Sebastian, you can take it away. What's your thoughts of the matchup?
And as soon as Vegas is gonna miss the next match, so, but in my opinion, he's not even good. With Gabriel Sosa, he came on. He was much better. He's more of a wing back. Of course, he plays a left back mostly. The team was very good, but so why would they do this to me?
Well, where did you think it went wrong for Chile in this matchup? Because watching the highlights, you guys did create good enough chances, but you weren't able to finish anything. I think that was the biggest problem for you. And then just, Claudio Bravo, I mean, should he still be playing? No, I think he needs to retire, to be honest. But where do you think it went wrong for Chile?
That's hard to say. That some place was good. I have to say that this is gonna sound biased, but anyway, I think Argentinian players, they dive a bit much. Like, well, the player don't even touch Di Maria, and he just.
Sebastian, that's CONMEBOL. That's CONMEBOL for you, bro. That's what they do in CONMEBOL. I'm sorry, but that's what happens in CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers. They dive all the time. It's not even a debate. But Sanchez actually looked pretty lively in this game. I got to give it to Alexis. I thought he was pretty good in this game. Brereton, he had another chance, I think, in the second half with his header, where I don't know if he was trying to lay it off to somebody, but then his header could have been much better. Argentina, I don't think they played amazingly, judging by the highlights, because I only watched this on highlights because, the game was at 3 a.m. for me. Guys, I got to work and, do stuff. But,
yeah.
As you can see, Argentina, they let Chile have most of the ball. They kind of just sat back and said, all right, you try and break us down. It's your match to lose. You need to win this game. And you know what? Chile just didn't do enough. They didn't create any sort of big chances. So, it's difficult now for Chile, isn't it, Sebastian?
Yeah, but I reckon still we're gonna get that the playoff place. Is that 5th place? I think.
Yes, it is the 5th spot, as you can see here.
If we beat Bolivia, we go to 19 points, and depends if Colombia play Peru.
Yes, that game starts in 2.5 hours. But you have Bolivia away. You have Brazil away, and then you have Uruguay at home. That is a brutal schedule for Chile if you want to make it to the World Cup, man. It's going to be difficult, I think. I really think so. Doug, thank you very much for your kind donation. He says, look at all these Liverpool fans now coming. I'll be on Diaz Watch tonight. What a day for Liverpool fans. Of course, as looks like Luis Diaz is going to be a Liverpool player soon. Keep up the great work, Michael. Thank you very much. Amazing content as always. And looking forward to Gambia versus Cameroon. Yes, cannot wait for the quarterfinals to start in AFCON. Yeah, I'll probably do a watch along. I have to make the thumbnail and everything. But thank you very much, Doug, for your kind donation. And guys, go check out, obviously, the Doug Out Football channel where he's been covering the AFCON. He covers Bundesliga. He covers the Premier League, Scottish leagues. He does all of that. So, guys, go check out
the
Doug.
He did that stream earlier also.
Oh, did he? I actually didn't check it. I didn't. Oh, you were on it. Oh, very nice. Good thing you were on it.
We watched the film.
Oh, good.
How?
In my early predictions, I had Chile finishing 4th. And what's Sebastian's connection? What's your connection with Chile?
Parents' side of it.
Okay, nice.
Right.
Very cool.
Bolivia plays.
Go ahead.
Bolivia plays Venezuela today, and I think they will win. So they will go up to 5th.
Okay, do you honestly think Bolivia are going to win that game? It's away at Venezuela. Do you know? Okay, I think I heard this crazy stat from Football Pharaoh, another YouTuber. He said Bolivia haven't won an away game in World Cup qualifiers since 1993.
Oh, okay, fine. I reckon they're going to at least draw that game.
I said this, that Bolivia is the most important away game ever for them. If they can win that game, Bolivia, I think they will qualify for the World Cup. I really think so because they got 2 home games left. They're playing Chile. I think they can beat Chile at home because, I have a very good comparison with Bolivia, right? They are Joga Bonito Brazil in La Paz, right? They're so good at La Paz. Nobody can deal with them. And then when they get to sea level, they're San Marino of CONMEBOL. That's what they are, man.
Yeah. When they always play home, they are like, I don't know.
Joga Bonito. Yeah. It's that altitude, man. I can't believe that altitude makes that much of a difference. But
Chile always lose there. Chile always go out to Brazil and lose. I think there.
A lot of teams do. But obviously, there are 2 more games today, guys. There's Colombia versus Peru, and I think a lot of Liverpool fans are going to watch it. But just for context for Liverpool fans and, people who want to follow CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers, let me just show you guys something, right? All right, it starts here. No, it doesn't start here. It starts here, right? No, it doesn't start here.
Yeah,
So
no,
Colombia,
down
match
there.
day, match day 11,
No,
right?
down.
No, it starts from here, match day 11, right? So
Yeah.
0 goals, 0 goals, 0 goals, 0 goals, 0 goals, and it's been 5 straight games Colombia haven't scored a goal in World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
They must score a goal today. They have a lot of guys out with COVID and injuries. I think Zapata, Muriel. So, I mean, don't even be surprised if you see tonight Falcao and James Rodriguez playing. I'm not even joking. It would be pretty funny to see, but I think they're honestly going to play tonight. But we're going to find out in a couple hours, see how Colombia, Peru do. And then obviously later it is Venezuela against Bolivia. You want to give your score predictions for those, Sebastian? I've already given mine, but if you want to give yours.
Yeah, also after my prediction, I clear scenario that I have. I reckon Colombia versus Peru. No, both on the 17 points. I think yes.
It's a big game, Colombia, Peru. They're on the
I
same
reckon
amount of
so
points.
too. This is not putting my bias into it. I think generally, I think it's going to be 2-2. And I reckon Venezuela going to draw 1-1.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what you think.
That's going to be the best scenario for Chile, I think. Because
Okay.
if
You gotta worry just beating Bolivia at away, man. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is all the CONMEBOL action. If you guys have any more CONMEBOL questions or thoughts, please let me know in the chat, as I will be moving over to CONCACAF next. If you want to stay on, Sebastian, or if you didn't watch the games, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I watched it on I watched it at the same time as I watched Ryan. Ryan Alexis. He was fuming, by the way.
All right.
Oh, I feel bad.
All right, let me just answer this. Who remembers 2014? James, he was by far the best player in that World Cup. He was absolutely amazing. Just, I think he got injured in the quarterfinal against Brazil, and that was kind of the detriment. And if you guys remember the grasshopper that went on his shoulder and everything. So, yeah. Matt says 1-1 Colombia, Peru, and 2-1 Venezuela, Bolivia. So,
can I also say one thing?
Yeah,
I reckon if Colombia went to the final and won the World Cup, I reckon James Rodriguez would have won maybe the Ballon d'Or. 100%. If
I don't know about Ballon d'Or, but
I think he scored. How many goals did he score? 6, I think.
No, did he score? I think he scored 5, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he score 2 against Uruguay in that round of 16? He might have scored 2 against. Well, somebody can let us know in the chat as well. How many goals did James Rodriguez score?
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. But we move on to the CONCACAF region. Andy Carroll has just signed for West Brom. Are you joking, Doug? Nah, Doug's joking. Doug's joking. Let me know when you discuss about USA match. Yep, we will. We're getting to it. But did you watch this game, Sebastian? Or were you just watching Ryan?
Yeah, I watched both of it. I watched the game on my phone and the stream on computer.
Okay. So, I mean, what can I say? Oh, it is for real. Doug is actually, it's for real. Wow. Actually, Andy Carroll's back. Hello. But anyways, I don't want to talk. I don't want to discuss about club football. All right.
Yeah.
Jamaica, Mexico. Oh man, Jamaica.
No, they bottled it.
Oh, they bottled it. I mean, okay, first off, 45th plus 2 minutes, Damian Lowe, straight red card. It's a straight red card. The guy comes with studs up. What are you supposed to do? Just a dumb tackle from Damian Lowe. It's just, you don't need to do that whatsoever. But 50th minute, Daniel Johnson then comes with the equalizer from a corner. Good little finish from him. Funes Mori should have cleared his lines. I don't know what Funes Mori is doing in that situation. Daniel Johnson then finishes the chance.
Wow.
Okay, it was a good goal. And then, I mean, as you guys can see here, right? 81st minute, Henry Martin. Great goal. Poor defending from Jamaica. 83rd minute, poor defending from Jamaica. Ernesto Vega gets the winner for Mexico. I mean, yes, Jamaica, they had 10 men. They were so gritty in defense, just trying to hold on to the 1-0 lead. This would have been an excellent points because you saw Panama, as I predicted, I said Panama would drop points. They did. They lost to Costa Rica. This would have been perfect for Jamaica. Get their campaign going. You're playing Mexico at home. All right, there's no crowd there. You're not playing against Chucky Lozano. You're not playing against Raul Jimenez. And then you bottle it like that. Last 10 minutes, you have to just be aware of the situation, be aware at all times. And they concede 2 late goals. And it's over. I didn't say Jamaica would qualify for the World Cup, but it's pretty much a done deal at the moment for them. Because, I'll show the people the stats, and I watch the highlights. I mean, Jamaica had literally nothing. I mean, look at the stats, guys. If you can see quickly. I mean, 3 shots to 19, 0 big chances, 3 big chances, 75% ball possession for Mexico. They completely dominated the game, but Mexico were just frustrated. And I will say this right now. As I take away the screen. If Mexico lost that game, or if they picked up maybe 1 win in these three-game window, I honestly think Tata Martino would have been sacked. Because
he should be sacked.
Okay, he should not be sacked because he's going to cost a lot of money to the Mexican FA.
He's not the right manager.
Okay, but then who would be the right manager for Mexico? That's my question. He is one of the best managers you can get on the market. The USA wanted to get Tata Martino as manager. They didn't get him. Don't even talk about that guy. I honestly think if they lost this game, and let's say I can't remember who else they're playing in this. If they lost another game and they picked up 1 win, I think he would have been sacked. I really think so. Because the performances have just not been there, considering how much talent this side has and how much talent there is in Mexico. And he just keeps picking the same players again. So Tata Martino can count his lucky stars that they won this game. It's still not impressive from what I expect from Mexico, making it constantly to the World Cup, making it constantly to round of 16. They hired Tata Martino to make it past the round of 16. That's why they hired him. They failed to do that in the last World Cup because they bolted it against Sweden. They should have gotten a point against Sweden. They would have finished first. They would have faced Switzerland, and maybe they would have beat Switzerland. They didn't. And now look what happens. You lose this game. You almost lose this game. Jamaica, they're done. I don't know what Jamaica are trying to do. I don't know what their FA is trying to do. They just seem like a disjointed group as well. So big up to Mexico getting on the comeback, but it needs to be much better. Do you want to share any thoughts, Sebastian?
I know Alvas Powell, when he came on, I knew Mexico were gonna win because he's not good, man. He is not good. Ask every Jamaican YouTuber and around, and they will say he's garbage.
Okay, but what did he do wrong yesterday? Because I saw Ryan, screaming about him. So what did he do wrong yesterday? Can you tell me?
He can't defend.
Okay.
He can't mark the player. He didn't mark the player.
For the second goal?
I think the first or second. The second. It was the second.
Okay.
He stands like like a chicken. He's like scared or something. I don't know. He's not a Jamaican quality footballer. He's not. I don't know why he's in the national team.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I never thought Jamaica were going to make it because you bring in all these English players together and you're expected to gel immediately. It doesn't work like that in international football. You need to go much longer, and have a plan. You can't just put everything together and expect it to come out perfect. It's just how it is with Jamaican football at the moment. You can get there. You can get Mikel Antonio. You can get Leon. You can get all these guys, right? But if you're not a team and you don't have a good tactics, you're going to lose these games. And how many times have Jamaica bottled leads in this qualifiers? How many times? Five times. Okay, they could easily be in in the playoff spots, but they're not. They have screwed themselves over. Mexico, though, I don't have any confidence in this team whatsoever. We watch more football than regular people. Trust me, Dom. My girlfriend thinks I don't have a life at the moment. Tuned into about 10 games yesterday. Yeah, RMC say thank you for tuning in. Oh, he says hello, Dominic. Well, not to me.
in here, everyone.
Matt, do you have any thoughts about this game? If you watched it?
Well, I thought I didn't watch it, but I certainly kept track of all the CONCACAF games and every game that was going on at that time. Mm-hmm. And Mexico certainly did have the character to come back, having been 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go, and certainly the kind of thing you need. And picking up a win on the road will help them.
Definitely will help them. Well, that is the first game on CONCACAF. I think Jamaica, they're what now? They're 7 points behind Panama.
I do agree this was a good opportunity.
This is the thing, Matt. Like with Jamaica, they've had so many good opportunities to get like 3 points or 1 point, and they just keep bottling it. I don't know how many times they're going to do it to themselves. They have good players, but they just don't have the mentality at the moment of a winning side. I think that's what they need to, gain as a winning mentality throughout the whole team. You look at Panama, for example. They were 2-0 down to Honduras, and they came back to win 3-2. That's the sort of mentality Jamaica need. Yeah, go ahead.
And I want to say that Jamaica, they need to take time with these foreigner players from outside Jamaica. Look at China. They take their time. They don't rush into things. Like they take. How many Brazilians have turned nationality to China? Like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think it's about 4 or 5. Or if you look like at, I think it's UAE, Qatar, Russia as well. There's a lot of players that come from Brazil.
I do want to add something regarding both Jamaica and Mexico.
Go ahead.
If you look at the next game week, it's gonna look like a good scenario for Jamaica, because Mexico play Costa Rica at home, which they're expected to win, and Costa Rica is also in this qualification route a rival of Jamaica, and Jamaica's away at Panama, and I thought Jamaica have done better on the road than at home. So if they beat Panama, then things could get a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I think, but Jamaica if they want to have any chance of making it to the World Cup, they have to beat Panama. It's a must win.
Yeah,
it's win or go home.
They should focus on qualifying for the next World Cup instead.
And you know what? They have a good opportunity when Mexico, USA, and Canada won't be in the qualifiers. They're gonna have a very good opportunity, and but they need to fix a lot of things, I think, in the FA before they have to start worrying things about on the pitch.
How many spots in CONCACAF are there for the next World Cup?
I think it was 4. I think it's 4. So I think it's 4 if I'm not mistaken. But we'll talk about the next game. It is Honduras 0, Canada 2. Honduras still have not won have any match. They haven't won any match in these qualifiers. 0 wins, 3 draws, and 6 losses. And Canada, big up Canada. They're doing the thing again. If you guys didn't see the goal, didn't see the goals, 10th minute Maldonado own goal, but Tajon Buchanan. Oh my god! Oh my god! This guy is so good. Tajon Buchanan is actually he's a joke. He's a joke. Is Tajon Buchanan? It was
Where does he play?
He plays for Club Brugge now. He was at New England Revolution. Now he's at Club Brugge. He did the same thing like Moses Simon did for Nigeria. He left some souls, and Tajon Buchanan did that to a couple Honduran players because my God, it was a horrible own goal from Maldonado, but great cross from Tajon Buchanan. Then 73rd minute, a long ball towards Jonathan David, and he calmly chips it over. I think it's Luis Lopez, the goalkeeper's name for Honduras. Great win for Canada. They erased the demons of losing to Honduras 8-1 in 2012, 2-1 in 2015. They hadn't won in Honduras since 1985, obviously en route to qualifying for their only World Cup appearance. So I think this was a big, big boost for the Canadians. But also, you have to big up the goalkeeper, Borjan, who plays his club football, Red Star Belgrade. He made at least 2 or 3 incredible saves to keep Honduras at bay. So this was a total team effort, and this is what I talked about. When you don't have Alphonso Davies, you need your big players to step up. And, Jonathan David did. Borjan did. Hutchinson, I thought, had a great game as well, controlling the midfield. Tejon Buchanan was just absolute menace down the right wing. So what a win for Canada. I knew they were going to qualify for the World Cup, but I think getting their first road victory in Honduras, which has always been a difficult place for them, is massive. So, Matt, do you have any thoughts about this game?
Nothing I didn't really see coming. There was some details of stuff that I wouldn't have predicted, like Boyan's incredible performance, but Canada just overall believed that they didn't need Alphonso Davies to get the win, and yes, he helps them a lot, but if we can't have them, then we can win without them, especially against a team like Honduras.
Yep. Sebastian, you want to have any thoughts about this game?
Canada, they didn't have the Davies, but they have to learn how to win games and play good without him. It's not a one-man team. It's 11 players on the pitch plus guys who subs on. I have to say Jonathan David, best striker in CONCACAF.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Borjan is a good goalkeeper. He played for Red Star.
Yep.
Hutchinson played for Besiktas. I don't know if he still plays there.
He still plays there. He still plays there.
Oh. Canada, good job by them. Very good victory ahead of the big match they have. I know you are excited, Mike, and nervous.
Well, we'll talk about that game soon. Maybe we'll talk about that game soon. But Alpha Jalo, thank you for tuning in. Hello to you as well. And Balkan Warrior says, I was at the Canada-Mexico match. It was minus 30. I froze like a little, you know what? Wow. That must have been
worth it, though.
It was definitely worth it. Exactly. I was about to just say the same thing.
I just say something about.
Wait, let me go through these comments first.
Yeah.
Last time Canada played at Honduras, they lost 8-1. It was the game before that. The last time they were in Honduras, it was a 2-1 loss. But before that, it was an 8-1 embarrassment. And Ilias is asking, can Canada qualify to?
Yes, they will.
I already said they will, and I think even more. I think now that Panama lost, they are going to even have a greater edge in qualifying to the World Cup. And hello, Nicola. What are you going to say, Sebastian?
Honduras, they are not good. I don't know why they're so bad.
I'll tell you why.
They're the only team. I think they're the only team without a win.
Yep, they're the only team without a win. I think El Salvador picked up a win. El Salvador.
Yeah, I think they've got one win.
Honduras are just terrible defensively. There's some of the mistakes they make is just shambolic. And you guys might know the name, one of the center backs, Mino Figueroa. He's still there.
I saw him yesterday, and I thought he's still playing.
He doesn't have a club. He's 38 years old. He's still playing. So I think Honduras, they have very good attackers. They have Albert Terlis, they have Coyote, they have Lozano. They have good players up front. Defensively, though, and I think Luis Lopez is a good goalkeeper, but they just make some calamity of mistakes all the time. So that's the biggest problem for Honduras. Defensively, they just make way too many simple mistakes, and this is something they need to figure out heading into the 2026 World Cup qualifiers in order to make it. But it's been a disappointing camp. I thought Honduras were going to be the 4th spot, but because they did well in the Gold Cup, they did well in the Nations League, but it's just been all downhill since then. And they've gone 3 draws, and that's about it for them. So big up Canada. Go ahead, Sebastian.
The 3 teams that are bottom, Honduras, El Salvador,
Jamaica.
And Jamaica, they need to only now focus on qualifying for the next World Cup because, it's.
Well, we'll see. We'll discuss about that as we look at the standings. But the next game,
where do you have Canada finishing by the end of the campaign?
I predicted them before even the matches started in September, I had them, I think, third. So that would have been automatic. I knew they would make it to the top three.
What about from this point?
To me, it doesn't really. I don't really care in what position you finish, but I just think I know they will go to one of the automatic spots. But maybe they'll finish.
I've got them second.
You got them second. Who you got first? Then it better be the correct answer.
Mexico.
All right, you're gone.
Nah.
You're gone.
I think the fixtures
Mike only
are
wants the USA to make it.
much easier
Say it again, Matt.
compared to last time for them.
You're gonna have to say it again.
I think Mexico's fixtures coming up are easier than what they had beforehand.
Yeah. But also they don't have a crowd for their next 2 home games.
Suppose not. They should be beating Costa Rica.
Yeah, they should be.
And I'd even say Panama as well.
They should be.
My top three is to go directly is first. Sorry, Mike. Canada, because I think they look the better team out of the 3. I reckon USA gonna sneak that second. Ooh, why are the people barking? I reckon Mexico third and USA second. Bring him in.
Yeah, I might have to get him soon. But next game we're going to talk about, it is the old guard, the retirement home, Costa Rica, beating Panama 1-0. And I predicted this game. Guys, can you talk about it quickly?
What do you think of this game? Because Costa Rica, very important win also, and they needed it. What do you think?
Well, I think this was the sort of win you'd expect Costa Rica to do. I mean, we criticized Brian Ruiz for just being too old and he can't be much of an impact. He tell you what, he was substitute today. He got brought on at half time and he ends up scoring the winning goal.
What do you think of Panama's chances to make it now that they lost? They also have Mexico, and who do they have also 3 next matches? I think
Jamaica.
Oh, that would be. What do you think of their chance? Can they get top 3?
No, I don't think so. I think the 3 teams we mentioned earlier will bridge too much of a gap. And I think it might go down to goal difference between both these teams.
Mike, you're muted.
I think Panama might choke given the fixtures that are coming up.
All right, here we go. All right, guys. I watched the highlights of this game. Quickly, first half, nothing happened. I mean, there was a couple chances, but they were never going to threaten Meja or Keylor Navas in goal. We get to the second half. This guy is still playing. And it was a great save for Meja in the first chance. Poor defending for Panama. Brian Ruiz, man. The guy's, I don't know how old he is. 37, 38, 45, 55. He is an old man. But he is still doing it, Brian Ruiz. Good goal from him. And then Costa Rica were kind of hanging on. I'm not going to lie. Because Panama, they had a great chance, I think, in the last minute where they hit the crossbar or the post. So it's a disappointing performance from Panama. But I said this when I was doing my predictions. Panama have never beaten Costa Rica in San Jose. And it continues.
Did you get the score right, Michael?
I said 1-0 Costa Rica. Because
I said 2-1 Costa Rica.
Because Costa Rica, they can't score. And they don't concede a lot of goals when Keylor Navas is in goal. Look at the stats. 64% Panama had. They, first half they didn't create much. Second half, after they conceded the goal, Panama started then playing more and more and more. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's the end of the world for Panama losing this game because, like I said, they've never won in San Jose, Costa Rica. So it was an absolute must-win for Costa Rica. They needed to win. I think the old guards want to do it one last time, make it one last dance, and qualify for the World Cup. But I still don't think this Costa Rica side can do it, man. They just don't have enough youth players in it to give me some hope that they have a squad depth. Because, in CONCACAF, at least compared to CONMEBOL and AFC, there's 3 games. So there's going to be a lot of rotation for some teams. And, if Costa Rica or Panama rotate, they don't have this sort of squads to, get 2 wins out of 3. So that's my biggest problem for them. But you guys already discussed about the game?
I mentioned.
He gave his thoughts. Panama, they didn't have the best striker, I think. Waterman.
Yeah, apparently
I
he's
think that was the
said he's
factor.
injured.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
if he wasn't injured and have started, I think he would have scored.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He's good.
UEFA are thinking of making a Euro Asia
No.
competition. That would be a great, but I think it would kill the World Cup spirit. Well, I hope not, because it wouldn't be that competitive. Question for all: if Canada was in Europe, how good would they be?
Top 25.
Yeah, they would qualify
Top 3
to
team.
Euros.
Not better than Sweden.
Okay, Sebastian.
Maybe like Scotland level.
I agree. Or maybe.
Yeah, I could see some. But they honestly, they have one of the best strikers. I gotta say, Jonathan David is. He could have played for the US MNT, and that's what pisses me off even more. He could have played for the US national team. That's what makes it even worse, considering when I look at the striker options for the US. So, I think Canada. The thing with Canada is they have just a good structure with them. They know what they're doing, and John Herdman, the manager, has just done a phenomenal job. I have to give him all the credit. He's done a magnificent job. So big up to John Herdman. So I think Canada would be like a
dark horse.
Yeah, well, not like a dark horse. I would say like a pot 3 team, like Matt said, in Europe.
I have a point about Canada that can then link to this game after you read the comments.
Yeah, and this helps Jamaica kind of. Yeah, it does help Jamaica kind of, but we'll look at the standings after the next match. What were you going to say, Matt?
Yeah, so we saw with this game between Costa Rica and Panama had more possession. But then if you look back to when we were looking at the Honduras versus Canada game, I noticed Honduras had more of the ball. So games like this and the Canada game shows that don't need much possession to win the game. And I was also mentioning this to Sebastian earlier, that we criticised Brian Ruiz a number of times. He can't do much. He's with the age he was. But he was on the bench for the game against Panama, and he ended up scoring. Do you think Ruiz as an impact sub would fit Costa Rica better?
No, yeah, 100%. Because he's got quality. I mean, that's no joke about that. Brian Ruiz is quality. He just cannot do it for 60 minutes, 70 minutes. He's just not that guy anymore. I got to be honest. He's not that guy. But hey, if he can come off the bench and give you valuable minutes, I think, that's a good sub to have. That's definitely a good sub to have. What were you going to say, Sebastian?
I know Doug is in the chat, but I think I know he's in the chat because I saw him comment. I'm going to say this, and I don't know if he's going to be happy, but I reckon if Canada plays Scotland, I reckon Scotland could lose.
I honestly think so too. Honestly, because
Canada's not good. They could
honestly,
Scotland don't have a Jonathan David type striker.
Yes, exactly. I would say the midfield battle would be interesting. Hutchinson and Eustaquio. Eustaquio didn't even play yesterday either because I think he has an injury and he just signed for FC Porto. So
imagine if Scott Arfield plays that game.
Scott Arfield he
retired. He was Scottish. Oh yeah,
he retired from the national team.
He went, but he decided to play for Canada because the two managers before him, Gordon Strachan, and he had his favourites, and Arfield was struggling to get into the side.
Yep. And Doug said, my friend David had his ID stolen. He's just,
oh, no.
Oh, man. All right. But since we're going to add 80 here to the next game, let me quickly, because I'll talk. Sebastian, silencio. All right, guys. The USA won. El Salvador nil. What can I say about this game? Still not good. Still not impressed. Still not impressed with the U.S. national team. It needs to be better from them altogether. Can it be better? Yes, it can. Getting 3 points, is that the most important thing? Yes. Well, I want to quickly show you the lineup because it is a good lineup and it's a good starting 11. My only problem is, okay, does Zimmerman deserve to start at center back? Yeah, I would guess he could deserve to start at center back. Jesus Ferreira, striker? No. The guy had 2 glorious chances in the first half. How he missed the second one from 6 yards out and didn't even hit the target is beyond me. Jesus Ferreira, he's a young player from, obviously, FC Dallas, and he has a promising future. So I'm not going to rip him too much, but he's not a natural striker as well. He's apparently a cam, or more of a false nine sort of guy. This is my biggest problem with the U.S. national team. We don't have a striker who's going to take us to the next level. Ricardo Pepi can become that guy, but he's only 18, so we have to be patient with him.
Robert Robinson.
Who?
That Robinson guy. That's
Anthony. No, he's not a striker. Anthony Robertson is the left back from Fulham who got the only goal of the game. Good finish from him. 52nd minute. First half, USA did create some chances, but they just couldn't finish them. And El Salvador, they had one chance really that went a little bit wide. Other than that, I think there was one long shot that was easily saved from Matt Turner, who is now going to become an Arsenal backup goalkeeper. Really weird. I don't know why he's going there. If he doesn't want to win trophies, that's his point of view. But Christian Pulisic, man, he was terrible on the day. I don't know what's happened to Christian Pulisic in the last couple of weeks. He just doesn't look like, mentally ready, physically ready, just not the guy at the moment. So can it be better from the USA? 100%. There is just too much talent on this team to be playing this poorly, I think, especially in the final third. Sometimes the decision-making from these guys is not good enough. But like I'm saying again, it doesn't matter. Like I said, the same thing for Saudi Arabia. It's all about just getting the points. Did they get the 3 points here? Yes. Did they keep a clean sheet? Yes. That's all I asked for. I just want performances to be better from a side that is so good. But let me ask AD first, because I think he watched the whole game. I only watched the first half, and then I rewatched the second half later today. So AD, give me your thoughts of this game.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because for me, I thought USA played well, but it's just that we couldn't score most of the goals. So it's just kind of funny is that it kind of reminds me of another team, a club team I follow. and it's kind of the similar vibes in that sense. And that I think we were the better team overall. I think we played well. It's just the result is just a bit deceiving. Like I think if we had scored 2 or 3 more goals, people would say this is an amazing performance. I just feel like people are not saying it's an amazing performance because we only scored 1. Now, as far as the lineup is concerned, I was fairly content with the lineup. I was surprised that Richards was starting. I thought Miles Robinson would have started. I thought it was a big surprise that he didn't start this match. Zimmerman, I thought starting was okay. I think it was good. The only problem I had was Ferreira. And even though I thought he had a good game, it's just his shooting was just not good. And it's kind of unfortunate. There's some players that they can get up to the final third. They're at least trying, but they just can't score. It seemed like it was kind of like that kind of game for him. But at least he got the assist for the Anthony Robinson goal.
Yep. And if people don't know, Anthony Robinson is actually born in England, because Elias says here, an Englishman, Robinson saving America again. They need to improve on their performances. We need to improve on our performances, but Anthony Robinson, man, I think he's been the USMNT's best player this whole qualifiers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry, there was a little lag on my end.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Do you guys hear about a new football game called UFL? I've heard of it. I haven't seen any highlights of it. Fun fact, the word soccer was created in the UK. Goddamn Brits. I swear, man. I swear the Brits. Just got the Luis Diaz news. Love a good transfer sale. You got it. Yes, man. Exactly. Luis Diaz is coming to Liverpool. We're doing it. I'll save these next questions. Vladdy Music. U.S. team is very young at the moment. I believe they need some time. Somewhere around the World Cup 2026, they should unleash their potential. 100% Vladdy. 100%. But my biggest problem with this USMNT is the manager. It's honestly it's the manager and then our striker position. That is the 2 problems I have with this team. Do I fully trust Greg? No, I don't trust him. He reminds me of Ole, and I don't want to have an Ole as a manager. I thought
you were going to say Bob Bradley.
I'd honestly take Bob Bradley back. No joke. But I don't want him back. He wasn't good. He's not good anymore.
At least Berhalter won trophies.
Okay, he won trophies, but do you know what Bob Bradley did? He ended Spain's unbeaten record in the 2009 Confederations Cup.
Yeah,
That's what Bob Bradley did. When we won
that.
2-1, yeah, when we won 2-0, USA upsetted Spain in one of the biggest
Who
upsets ever.
scored?
So, huh?
Who scored?
2-0?
It was Josie Altidore and I think it was Clint Dempsey. Yeah, it was Clint Dempsey because Sergio Ramos had a poor clearance. But anyways, forget about that. So, this is the whole plan with this U.S. men's national team is when we host the World Cup in 2026. You know what they're going to say in the U.S. media? This team better win. This team better win. They're going to win. They're going to win. They're going to win. You don't understand. They need patience. It's not going to be easy winning a World Cup. Yes, we have the talent, but we need a right tactics. And I'll still stick with Greg because he has gotten the wins and he's gotten the trophies. But do you fully trust him, AD?
Parker's coming home.
Yeah, I don't really trust him.
Go ahead, AD.
Yeah, I don't really trust him either. But the thing is, like, the problem is that there isn't really many other great managers out there for the USA. Like, that's the huge problem. That, unfortunately, I think he's going to stay on. The only way I can see him getting sacked is if we don't somehow qualify for the World Cup. Like, that's the only way I don't see it getting sacked.
I mean, Milovan Rajovic is available.
Dressing room on side as well.
We are not taking Milovan Rajovic any day. I do not want him anywhere near my national team. But, Matt, do you want to give any thoughts about the game?
Well, yeah, I think my big contribution to this game is that in the problem with the USA in the first half is they were committing too many players back in the midfield area. So you had like a 5 versus 5 in that area, and even Pulisic was dropping back.
Yep, Sebastian, do you want to give any thoughts?
An unnecessary thing.
Yeah.
USA, very good team. They're a good team. They should make the World Cup every single time, in my opinion. Not every time. USA, good game from the left back who scored, Anthony Robinson. USA deserve this win. Yeah, they do.
All right.
I reckon USA gonna sneak top 3, or they're just gonna take top 3 and go to World Cup.
We better get top 3. I don't know what you're talking about, Sebastian. We better get top 3 automatic. I am not going to go through. I don't even care if it's New Zealand through the playoff. Do not make my heart boil in a playoff against New Zealand because anything's possible. Anything's possible. But
that's true.
I fancy New Zealand's chances against Costa Rica and Panama.
Yeah, I do as well. I reckon there's chances. But anyways,
I don't know to what extent, but yeah.
AD. Okay, so now there's a big game on Sunday, right? I'll show you guys the schedule. So it's USA against Canada.
USA.
I'm not too confident heading into the game. I'm not going to lie. Our away record has been the greatest. We're going into Canada. I don't think there's going to be a full crowd in the stadium in Hamilton. So what's your kind of initial thoughts heading into this game? Obviously, there will be a watch along on the channel, guys, on Sunday for Canada versus USA. So hope you guys all join for it. But did you get
permission from the neighbors?
Well, they're just gonna have to deal with it. But so, what's your initial?
Doesn't get the same treatment then.
What's your initial thoughts, AD?
Oh man, this is a huge one, and I think for me, this is a match that we really see the USA get a proper test because for me, I don't really think. I mean, yeah, how do I put some words? Yes, Mexico was a test, but I think Canada will actually pose a bigger test than Mexico did. Because Mexico at the time, they were not very good at that month in particular. So I think this one could be our most challenging opponent. And especially the fact that it's away makes things very difficult indeed. Now, luckily for us, there's going to be no Davis. And I believe there will be no Eustachio, who I think those are 2 big misses for Canada. And I think for me, for Berhalter in particular, it's kind of it depends on what lineup he plays. It's similar to what Michael said in that if we play rotated 11, we play like an average 11, like sort of like the game against Panama, then we're losing this match. Like, let me make just that clear. We're losing this match. But if he plays a strongest 11, then I don't think we'll lose. Or if we do lose, it'll be very, very narrow. For me, I just hope that we at least get a draw. At least get a draw. I'll take a draw. Obviously, if we win, that would be amazing. That would be huge. But for me, I just want to get at least 7 points from this window.
We should. Matt, Sebastian, what you guys' your predictions and your initial thoughts of Canada versus USA on Sunday? Big game. Let me get Matt's point of view first.
I think it's going to be a draw, 0-0 or maybe 1-1. I think Berhalter's not going to accept any kind of complacency against an opponent like this.
Okay, Sebastian?
I think 1-1 or even 1-0 USA.
You'll take that.
USA,
Definitely take that.
yeah, I think USA want this more. And will Davis play on?
No, he's gone for a while, Alphonso Davis.
Oh, okay. So, well. Anyway, I think USA. I agree with AD. If you play a very strong 11, I don't think you will lose. And it will be narrow if you do lose. If you play a really bad lineup, you are screwed.
Yep.
Let's hope USA wins.
Well, best of luck to both teams and miss the best team win. But 80, remember the last time the USA had a 3-game window? What happened in the second game against Panama? Well, how many players did Greg Berhalter rotate?
Yeah, and according to in his post-match conference, I saw he said he wanted to play for a draw
Against Panama.
Yeah, apparently.
I swear to God, this guy's going to do the same thing again. I am dreading the lineup when it comes an hour before. I'm absolutely dreading against Canada. Because, I think we should still be fine getting the automatic spots, because if we look at the standings of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, Costa Rica picking up that win was massive for the Canada, USA, and Mexico, because now it's 4 points ahead of Panama. And yeah, it's just a big win. So
yeah.
Do you guys think it will stay like this until the end of the qualifiers?
Yes.
No.
Maybe. I think. Oh, sorry. I'll let Matt finish.
Oh,
you want my thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead, Matt. Yeah, who do you think will be the top 3?
I'll say USA third, and then by just a point, Mexico, and then Canada.
Okay.
But probably Mexico 30 points, Canada 29 points, something like that.
Okay. All right. 80?
Bottom 3 is definitely. I think bottom 3 will stay the same as well.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think it's safe to say that El Salvador, Honduras, they're pretty much that's going to stay the same.
Definitely.
Probably stay the same. Panama, Costa Rica, that could interchange, but I'd still probably put. Obviously, I fancy Panama more. So I think the top 4 will probably. I think the top 4 nations will stay. I think the nations that are in the top 4 will stay. The order of the top 4 could be very different because because I believe there's a big match in the March window. There is Canada versus Panama. That's a big one, and then obviously we play against Panama.
And we play Mexico away.
Yeah, so it's hard to say, to be completely honest, but I think the top 4, I think we're gonna get at least top 4. Whether that's being a third, second, or first, that's kind of hard to tell at this rate.
It is definitely hard to tell. Mike, do you still hate? Don't even tell me those words. Hoping for Mexico going to the playoffs just for the laughs. They were in the playoffs in 2014. They did defeat New Zealand, so I don't think Mexico. I still don't. I don't know about Tata Martino anymore, man. Not the greatest manager at the moment, but so we all agree. Jamaica, had they beaten Mexico, would we have said then, okay, they still got a chance?
Probably.
I think they still got a chance now, but not as much as, say, Panama and Costa Rica.
Yeah.
All right. You say they have a chance. Let's look at their next 2 games for Jamaica, especially, right? Okay, so they got Panama away.
A win would be huge.
A win would be huge. Like you said before, they are a good away side, so that could be huge. Then they got Costa Rica at home. They could definitely win that game because they'll have more possession of the ball.
Yeah.
Then they have El Salvador at home. Okay, that can be a win. And they got Canada away and Honduras at home. So really, the last 2, out of the last 5 games for Jamaica, the 2 difficult is Canada away and Panama away. If somehow they can beat Panama, if they get 4 out of 5, 12, they get 12 points. All right, let's see then. Let's quickly check that.
19.
Yes,
Well,
they would go. They would go up to 19.
Yeah.
Then Panama, they have Canada at home. They have Jamaica at home. They have Honduras at home. They got
USA away.
USA and Mexico away. So could Panama falter? Possibly. I don't see it
think they will.
happening. I don't think they will falter, Panama, because they've shown too much quality throughout these World Cup qualifiers. Costa Rica, I mean, this is just a. If somehow Costa Rica make it to the World Cup again with this side, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's pretty crazy, but should be interesting. Should be interesting to the World Cup qualifiers. But there was. Go ahead, Sebastian.
Jamaica can get that fourth, but it depends how it goes for Panama and Costa Rica. Depends what they do. So Jamaica can make the fourth, but I don't think they will.
But Jamaica got to really step up their performances if they want to get to the fourth spot. But Eric Nordgren, thank you for tuning in. What team? Oh, well, he's already been here. But anyways, what team do you think might be a dark horse in the World Cup? Let me ask AD first. Which team will be a dark horse in the World Cup as of now?
Okay, let's assume that the teams that already qualified. Let's assume those teams will be, because we can't really speculate for other teams. Out of those teams, probably I would say maybe Iran. I think they have a good chance. Let's see. I'm trying to think some other teams.
You have Denmark, Croatia, Spain, Serbia, England, Switzerland.
Serbia. Yeah, Serbia that's another one to keep an eye upon.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe Netherlands as well. I don't know if that would be a dark horse though.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. They haven't been in
Is
major
this a dark
competition.
horse to win or dark horse to overachieve?
I
believe to win. I assume maybe from Eric, maybe to win the World Cup. We'll go with that. We'll just say to win.
Okay, win. Yeah, well, in that case, maybe not. Well, maybe I have to change my mind then. Okay.
Netherlands could be one.
Yeah, Netherlands, I would say, is a good shout. I think they could potentially win.
All right, Matt.
I'm thinking Germany, because they're not looked at quite as highly as a few of the others, like Brazil, France, England.
Okay, Sebastian.
Well, this is a long shot I'm going to take. And I know they can beat a lot of teams who has already qualified. I'm going to go for Denmark. They look very good. They can beat anyone. And they have played very good. They did not concede any goal in the qualifiers.
They did. In the last two games they conceded. Then
they could beat anyone. This Denmark team, I'm amazed by them. Even though I'm from Sweden and we are kind of rivals with them, anyway, I think they can go far. Well,
yeah. Well, you're gonna have to translate to us, Sebastian.
Well, I have why I sound like this, but I have had COVID, so that's why I can sound.
Sebastian's doing this with COVID, so hopefully you get better soon, Sebastian. You feeling okay?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, it happens. It happens.
Chile
It happens.
probably made it worse.
Yep, exactly. But I also think it will be Denmark who are going to be dark horses.
Yeah.
I mean, but what I want to say about Denmark is I will wait until after the Nations League, because then they're going to play some good teams in the Nations League, and then I will give you, my full thoughts about the team, because I want to see, they played only Scotland and Israel and Austria, and okay, yes, they destroyed them, but I want to see them play against the top level teams before I say anything.
True.
When is the Nations League?
Nations League is starting in June.
Yeah.
They got four games in June and then 2 more games in September. So that'll be the Nations. Yeah, go ahead.
I heard that Denmark. Christian Eriksen. He still wants to play for Denmark in the World Cup.
Yeah. He's going to sign maybe for Brentford in the Premier League. So
training with Ajax at the moment.
He's training with Ajax's B team. So Christian Eriksen really wants to make it to the World Cup, and why not, man? I mean, he wears the defibrillator. I think that's how you pronounce it. So We'll see if he makes it. I hope the best for Christian Eriksen, man. He's a great player. So all the best. And Ali, also thank you for tuning in. I already talked about
Congratulations,
Iran.
Ali.
Yeah, congratulations, Ali. So, yep, I think that's about it for today. Thanks, Sebastian, for coming on.
Yeah. And by the way, look, Doug, he commented. Look what he commented. He commented Scotland. I know Scotland beat Denmark 2-0. But
They were already qualified, and they had a lot of
Yes,
players,
indeed.
a lot of players missing. So that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know how much we can renounce that game because Denmark. I don't.
And
Think
that last goal was a counter attack.
Oh, Matt, don't be a hater.
It
But
did.
Ericsson to Brentford, yes, yes,
It
indeed.
did.
Didn't
So
say anything about the first goal.
yeah, but Matt, thank you for coming on. If you want to shout out to your YouTube channel and Twitter, you're more than welcome to shout out now.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel where I'm covering a bit of AFCON and a bit of the World Cup qualifiers. And I'm on Twitter at MassAttack9, all lowercase.
All right. And 80?
Yeah. So yeah, guys, I'm basically my channel name is 80744. It's AD and 744. I also have a Twitter page, which is at arpondos744. And yeah, I'll put the links in the chat. And I cover a lot of football content on there. So it's pretty much the same thing as Michael is doing. Pretty similar.
Yeah,
Eddie,
pretty much.
Can I ask you a question? Eddie, would you take Eriksen at Barcelona?
I don't know. It's kind of a tough one because I'm not.
Look at Michael.
Why?
Okay. I would have. Well, the thing is, probably not. Honestly, at this point, sorry. I don't really know if he should go into this club right now. I think.
Mike already looks tired.
If AD was not AD. If Ericsson was a 6'3" center back who has pace and can dribble the ball, he would be perfect for Barcelona. But they don't need another midfielder. So that's
Yeah,
the problem.
we're too saturated in that position.
Yeah, Barcelona have way too many good midfielders. The center back, that's a whole different story. And now with Adama Traore, AD, just give me a quick thought about Adama coming to Barca. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, for me, I think this is a really interesting deal. Well, it is a loan deal, so I believe this is trying to replace Dembele, at least on the short term, because we don't really have a good. I think this is that's why we got him. I think it's to replace Dembele, and I just think that for me, he can provide a lot of speed on the flanks and help us a lot in that area. I know goal scoring is one of his weakest positions. But I do think he could be a great winger for us. And so he could also play the right back, which we've been struggling in the right back position. So I guess he could also do that as well. So overall,
I don't know if you want him in the right back position, though. I don't know if you want him there, but we'll see.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he might do better in La Liga. And I don't know if you guys know this. He used to be a Barcelona player, actually. He used to play
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. He was at the academy. That's how he got his football career starting. But I want to thank everybody for coming on. Actually, wait, let's quickly say that. Never thought I'd be saying the words Martin Goldthwait is what you mean, and Adama Traore would be in the Barcelona team together 10 years on after being in the Middlesbrough relegated side. Was it 10 years ago already?
Wow.
Damn. I don't think it was 10 years ago, but yeah, they were both in the. They were both in the.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was 2015, if I'm not mistaken. But they went from relegation to being on Barcelona. And Safir says Fofana to Barca. Well, I mean, that's exactly what Barca need. They need Fofana. But I want to thank Sebastian, AD, Matt, and everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Doug and Dominic, obviously, for their kind donations during the stream. So we'll be back here tomorrow, probably for a watch along for Gambia versus Cameroon. Cannot wait for it. And then obviously
tomorrow.
Yes, this is tomorrow. The games quarterfinals start tomorrow. Should be a good game. And then Sunday there is Morocco versus Egypt, and then obviously we're gonna have the watch along for Canada versus USA. Oh God. But and then obviously maybe we'll come back Tuesday or Wednesday for another live stream discussion about the World Cup qualifier. So have a beautiful day, guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Stay safe, everybody, in this crazy world.